Welcome back to Brick System Brothers. My name is Nathan Masters, and this is one of my MOCs, my own creation, a free Lego build without instructions. I call this one the Kesspalle Coach 244, a fictional company, fictional vehicle, kind of a futuristic flying luxury limo is the look I was going for. So this was built about the same time I did the Carabin M2 hover car, which has been out on the channel for a long time, and I haven't ever talked about the Kesspalle coach, so I wanted to do that today. Just go over some of the features a little bit and maybe take a little peek. I've been working on some upgrades in studio that haven't carried over to the physical model yet. So the model itself is kind of a longer vehicle, and it actually only has room for two minifigs, a passenger, very comfortable passenger, and a driver minifig, and the rest of it is the features for flying. So we've got two main engines, kind of a jet engine combination, some exhaust port details right at the back of the vehicle, and these are on a single Technic pivot. So this allows the engines to swivel into a landing position like there, and when this is landed it does actually sit level, but for the most part in flying position it's going to be facing back like that, and it can actually swing all the way around. So if you need to move down very quickly, it can go like this, but the front engines, if they're omnidirectional, don't have similar capability. And also if you need to do some very fast braking, you could possibly put them up like this, but design capacity is kind of designed to look like it looks the best if they're pointing back or down, somewhere in that 90-degree, up or down a little bit, somewhere in there. So that's the back engines. The front engines are built using the smaller 1x2 modified plate jets. They're also on a swivel. This was a little bit trickier to get packed up into the nose structure of the vehicle and also maintain that pivot capacity. So it does work. I think everything is legal in here, and at some point I might, if I do pull up the studio model in a future video, I'll talk about how this is all connected, or if I put this on Rebrickable, you could look at the instructions to see there. But this also has the hover mode and regular forward flight mode, where that folds down. So these are your front jets, and then these are your main speed jets. These are just kind of directional control. So this is in flight configuration. Again, really going for the sleek, packed in look. So a very narrow row of windows, and then the rest of it is just enough room for a minifig or two to be seated, and then kind of the extended hood. For headlights, I actually used the medium blue, and these glow in a black light. So if I had a black light display, these would go good in that. Now the other function that I built in is part of the hatch to get in. So to open the hatch, there's kind of a double acting mechanism. The first one is to remove the catch, which is just this little 1x4 section on a hinge. So you open up this catch, and then that allows the hatch to pivot on some Technic mechanisms inside the door. And then you have a way for minifigures to enter and exit. Entering to the right is the cockpit area. Entering to the left is the seating area for a nice comfortable voyage. And again, when we have all the engines in hover position, it does land level, and you can step right in to the model as a minifig. I haven't done a whole lot to make this super accessible from the top. Like, I didn't put a row of tiles or anything with that in mind, but it isn't too hard to take things off. So our pilot section up here, I'll bring this in and focus. We can see our controls. So kind of some blue handles, and then that I call it the battleship screen because it's got a grid. So that is our our pilot control, and then while we're up here, look at the mechanism again. This pivots, and you can just barely see in the back the seating. So if I take this back top off, I'm not sure how much of the vehicle is going to come apart. Oh, wait a second, I guess I did put on some tiles here. But yeah, there's our passenger kind of reclining comfortably. A couple pieces that I never quite finished with the seating in there. And then there's actually quite a open capacity for storage and luggage. This back window is just on a hinge so that could get it the right angle. Usually that's locked in place. But yeah, quite a large luggage capacity. I'm not really sure how that would be accessed without taking things apart, but you can see the chair a little bit right there for the minifig. And then the rest of the structure is just the mechanism for opening the hatch right there. So that is the somewhat fragile but fully functional Kesspalle coach. Get this back in focus. Again, this is a free build MOC. So as of now, this is not on Rebrickable, but it could be in the future. I'd like to make a few changes first. So some of the things I've been working on in the digital model would just be some upgrades to the engine. I was actually looking at doing a ball and socket upgrade where that gives it a little more mobility. And then a couple of color swaps. And I reworked the front quite a bit as well, just to give that a little bit more aerodynamic. But the first run of the model here, not too shabby, and just part usage wise, looking for things that would let me do the functions I wanted. So the mechanism to open the hatch does rely on some Technic, and then just the proportions and the aerodynamics. There's a couple pieces up here. We've got a wedge plate with sharp angles, and then right here above the windscreen we actually have this 2x6 plate with a softer angle. So just utilizing some of the different pieces we do have available to get the right shaping and the look that I wanted for the Kesspalle coach model. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Another MOC for our Brick System Brothers channel here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.